Good morning. Welcome to Nantucket Cottage Hospital's second Community Health Initiative Grant Recipient Breakfast. I'm very pleased to be representing the hospital team today as we award more than $1.1 million in grants to our community partners to address the island's most pressing health needs. First and foremost, I want to thank and recognize the hospital's generous donors who have provided the funds for our community health initiative through their remarkable gifts to our capital campaign. Through this initiative, 5% of the total project cost for our new hospital will be invested in community health programs outside the walls of the hospital, totaling more than $4 million over a 5-year period. So this represents a unique and historic opportunity for our island. It's been so gratifying to see the work done by our community partners over the past year through the grants we awarded in 2017, and we anticipate an even greater impact with the programs and projects we will be funding in this grant cycle. I want to recognize the dozens of staff and volunteers who have been part of this process, including the sector groups, the steering committee, the Community Benefit Advisory Council, the Nantucket Cottage Hospital Advisory Council, the Community Foundation for Nantucket, and our hospital's Board of Trustees. I'd like to specifically recognize a few of these volunteers who have dedicated many hours of their time and expertise to make this initiative a success and bring to it the integrity that it deserved. Starting with our Hospital Board of Trustees Vice Chair Kathy Ward. Kathy has been an incredible steward of this process for the hospital, and I'd like her to stand and be recognized for all the work she has done to make this happen. I'd also like to recognize the co-chairs of the 4 sector groups, including Jamie Roberts, Tracy Roberts, Molly Anderson, Tucker Holland, Kevin Marshall, Alex Rosenberg, Paula Leary, and Nick Ouellette. These individuals have stepped forward as volunteers and have brought the community's voice to the decision-making process on how these funds can have the greatest impact. This was truly a community-wide effort to identify and prioritize the island's top health concerns, develop a comprehensive plan to address them, and then solicit and rigorously review the proposals that came forward. An incredibly rewarding endeavor. This process continues to be a tremendous collaboration among island residents, which really was the intention of the DPH when they set up this requirement. And it's been fascinating to experience it and live it, and has allowed the hospital to engage with the community in new and meaningful ways. And now I'd like to welcome Kathy Ward to the stage to offer a few remarks and introduce our 2018 grant recipients. Thank you.
Good morning. I have to pull the mic down just a little bit. So thank you, Courtney. And so I want to just echo Margot's remarks of thanks to everybody, because this has been a community effort. And we've gotten to know a lot of people that we didn't know before, and it's been a long process. We start in June with the applications, and for those who received a grant last year, they had a status report at 6 months, which was in June, so there was a lot of work that went into that. And then they had the interviews for the awards we'll give today. And we're going to do 14 awards today, which we're very excited about announcing. And most of you know Courtney, and Courtney's our executive director of the foundation, and she's the one you really need to know because she's the one with the checks. So Courtney is, if you're ready, Courtney, I'm ready. Okay, so here we go. So the Artists Association of Nantucket, they're a second-year recipient, and this grant supports their Healing Through the Creative Workshops for Children. So we have Bobby Frazier, the acting executive director, Liz Hunt O'Brien, Maggie Murphy, and Laura Garabrandt. So accepting the award.
Sure. If I can adjust this a little. I'm artistic director and an interim executive director at the Art Association. And I want to thank Nantucket Cottage Hospital for believing in the Art Association and also for being such a proactive role keeper here in our community. Our 2018 grant, behavioral grant, allowed us to provide 3 youth programs that reached 20 individuals, and their ages were 6 to 18, and this was in partnership with Gosnold, Fairwinds, and the public schools here. We also were enabled by this to provide 3 adult programs that used local instructors and also off-island artists who came down. Our 2019 plans are to develop 4 brand new youth programs, and we're looking forward to that. Those would be crafted and fine-tuned by our Education Department Director, Lori Gerbrandt, and her able staff in that department. Also with our grant writing Director of Public Programs, oh, there she is. She didn't sit with me this time, Liz Hunt O'Brien. And again, thank you very much. I hope I got the 2-minute.
Thank you. Our second recipient is Gosnell on Nantucket, another second-year recipient. And today's grant will support a full-time Gosnell licensed mental health clinician to be co-located within the island's primary care offices. So receiving that is Erin Russell and Katie DeTolo.
I think this is at a good height. On behalf of our Gosnold CEO, Richard Kirkaroo, and the Gosnold Senior Leadership Team and the staff of Gosnold on Nantucket, I would like to thank the Nantucket Cottage Hospital Community Health Initiative and the Community Foundation for Nantucket for awarding Gosnold with the Behavioral Health Integration Program grant for our second year. I would also like to thank Dr. Hartman and the entire leadership team at Nantucket Cottage Hospital, Katie DeTolo and Vanessa Emery, who were essential in the development of the Behavioral Health Integration Program and who continue to manage and support it. The grant funds received from the Community Health Initiative allows Gosnold to partner with the Nantucket Cottage Hospital and provide behavioral health services at the primary care practices. Behavioral health integration benefits individuals, families, and providers by improving access to behavioral health services, increasing adherence to treatment, facilitating collaboration among providers, and developing an integrated care plan. Gosnold and Nantucket Cottage Hospital share a common goal to provide excellent health care to Nantucket residents. Gosnold's mission is to excel in addiction and mental health treatment, prevention, and management, to service men, women, and families affected by these illnesses, and to promote lasting recovery. We are excited to continue our collaboration with Nantucket Cottage Hospital by providing our mission-driven behavioral health services to the people of Nantucket. Thank you.
The National Alliance on Mental Health Illness. So NAMI on Nantucket, a second-year recipient, and they will continue their campaign to destigmatize the mental health issues that are on the island. So accepting is Suzanne Franzuto. Sorry. I was paying attention to what Jason was telling me.
It's a tremendous honor to accept this award on behalf of Jacqueline Lane, Executive Director for NAMI Cape Cod and the Islands. I'd like to expend special thanks to the Nantucket Cottage Hospital Healthy Initiatives for making it possible for us to continue our work with this marketing campaign. We are committed to using these funds to maximize community understanding of mental health issues, reduce the stigma associated with the mental health condition, and increase access to services through the William James Referral Service, which will debut early in 2019. The referral service is a mental health and wellness helpline that will be available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It is free, confidential, and available to anyone across the lifespan. Each individual meets the location, insurance, and specialty needs of the caller. So callers get matched with a licensed clinician who will follow up to see, to make sure that the referral worked out, that they are receiving the services they need, and that they feel supported. Mental health issues impact the individual, the family, and the community. I hope you've seen our ads that are in the Inquiring Mirror, on the shopping carts at Stop and Shop, and at the Dreamland Theater. But it's only the tip of the iceberg. As we continue the message that mental health matters, you matter. Thank you again.
So we're going to try this. Is that better, Jason? Okay, great. Okay. Addiction Solutions on Nantucket. This is a newly designated 501c3, and this is their first year as a recipient. This grant will help them gain CARF, which is the Commission on Accreditation for Rehabilitation Facilities. This is a really big step for this group. So accepting this is Dr. Tim Lepre.
I'd like to thank everybody that's responsible for being awarded this grant. I started Addiction Solutions several years ago, and Carla Freed and John McGuinn actually arranged a little party here as a fundraiser. And this was followed up by the Rotary. And that's enabled us to really get started developing a very professional organization. I met Aileen Womack, who has immense experience in mental health, behavioral health, and addiction. And that really was a big help because I just decided to jump in the deep end of the pool. I'd like to thank very much our board. We've got Jean Grimmer and David Boyce here. We are going to be using this money for CARF certification. Now, Aileen has been an inspector for CARF and tells me that this is not a small project, and that's what the money will be used for. We really want to continue to battle the stigma associated with addiction, alcohol and opiates. We don't want to see people dying of overdoses. I think we've been successful. We've had 7 women have children without neonatal abstinence syndrome. We have had graduates from our program, although we view success as having a patient able to live a normal life and not a chaotic existence driven by the need to use drugs. So success in our line of work is a little bit different, but we have successes and we're doing well, and this money will be well spent. Thank you very, very much.
Fair Winds Counseling Center. This is the second grant to Fair Winds. This 2018 grant will allow them to support the efforts to sustain their professional development library. And accepting, and I know I'm going to say this wrong, but it's Tess D. Alberte. Did I do okay? Okay, so Tess, if you will, and Athlon Sweeney and Ann Smith.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm a little bit taller than some. So with me is Athlon Sweeney, our clinical director. And again, my name is Tess Dale-Verity from Fairwinds, Nantucket's Counseling Center. We are so grateful to be part of this wonderful initiative for year 2. Thank you to the hospital and the Community Foundation for making this happen. So at Fairwinds, we have a breadth of comprehensive licensed mental health services to help people make sizable change in their life. This looks like psychiatry, psychological testing, an urgent behavioral health clinic, court-ordered services, community-based youth programs, outpatient services, and a mentoring youth program. Our team of 39 are constantly asked questions that are very important for access to care, understanding treatment options, and during crisis situations, what to do. Our CHIP funding this second year will end up creating an innovative new project with Channel 18 to create learning libraries, in which this will be recording our team and our staff, educating the community as a whole of what do I do if my teen starts to self-cut? What do I do if I have a child who's running away from school? These institutional videos will be embedded onto our website so that the community at large can learn at any given time the answers to these vital questions. It also is a twofold support that it ends up onboarding our clinical staff sooner and more frequently so we can see clients faster. What we hope is that with additional funding ongoing, we will help meet a lot of these questions and needs for the community and work very closely with our sister not-for-profits to get more people care. Thank you so much for being part of this. We're excited. Thanks.
Health imperatives. Again, we're proud to award for a second-year grant to the health imperatives as they continue to gather the data that they need to have discussions with the state about the actual usage of their services. And with that comes more funding for Nantucket, and therefore we all benefit. So accepting for them are Julie Keogh and Sunny Daly.
Hi, I'm Julia Keogh, and this is Sunny Daly, who runs the programs on island for us. On behalf of Health Imperatives Board and staff, I just want to thank all of the generous donors of the hospital, the Nantucket Community Foundation, and everyone who's participated in this process. In our first year of receiving funds, we have already accomplished quite a bit in seeing more people through our nutrition assistance program for the WIC program, our sexual and reproductive health services, and our young parents program. And we're thrilled that in the second year, we're really hoping to be able to serve significantly more people in these 3 programs by hoping to continue the work that we've done so far to really connect with many of the partners in this room and deliver services differently, but also locate additional space. We are hoping that if we're able to move into a new clinic space, we'll be able to see significantly more people. So that's our goal in terms of expanding services, and the funding from this project really helps us stabilize our workforce and invest in staff on island. And I just want to thank the Nantucket Cottage Hospital and the foundation again for not only bringing us all together, but for really helping us think through how we're delivering services. I found the process, the grant process, very helpful, and a lot of the members who are here today in helping us think about how we're delivering these services and meeting the needs of Nantucket. And I look forward to continuing the conversations with people in this room for how we can do that and best meet the needs. Thank you. Sunny?
just want to comment while they're taking their seat that one of the objectives of this whole project, the Health in Nantucket 2020, has been to get collaboration. I think you heard a little bit of that through some of these talks, is that, we're bringing people together to solve problems on the island so that we are a healthier place as we move into the next millennium or next wherever we're going to be. But I think it's a great example that Julie was just talking about. So thank you. Okay. Next one, the Mariah Mitchell Association. And last year, we gave a grant to Mariah Mitchell, who took on the responsibility, I guess, or the enthusiasm of one of the sectors to come up with a plan for a playground, because they knew that a lot of children, that need a place to go, but also adults that need a place to go. So this grant last year allowed them to have the funds to plan for this, and it's amazing. But then this year, the funds from our program will work alongside with the CPC and the land bank, because last year they secured property from the land bank. So this, again, is a great example of how different organizations have come together to put together a plan for the island. So I'd like to welcome Dave Gagnon and Shelley. Right on up.
So thank you so much to the Nantucket Cottage Hospital and the CFN for reviewing all the grants. And I know all the choices were so hard. Everybody's so deserving. I mean, the programs are just so compelling. But we appreciate your selecting Mariah Mitchell's proposal for the Hinsdale Inclusive STEAM, and I'll say what STEAM is: science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics play space. After the front page article in the Inky Mirror, once we learned that the CPC will ask voters to support the play space, it became clear that there was overwhelming support in the community to support for this project. The Mariah Mitchell Association is confident that the play space will help fill our mission, which is to help visitors and residents of Nantucket enjoy the land, sea, and skies of our island, our wonderful island environment. Many people in the community worked hard to make this plan come alive, with Mariah Mitchell and the Land Bank, the community school, CPC. I can go on and on. The public schools, they asked us tough questions. We had to find answers, which led to several different iterations of the plan. Each time it got better. And then Eric Savetsky asked, what if we didn't just have a good play space or an adequate play space, but we had the best play space we could make? And so with that, the land bank agreed to donate the land that they spent $2.5 million on, and also donate $300,000 to the project. And the land, actually the project has grown even since we wrote this grant. We got an extra $53,000 from the land bank to add an extra zip line and a global spinner. And so the project keeps growing. But now the play space includes a global spinner, an awesome climbing structure, 3 zip lines, swings, a central structure, musical instruments, kaleidoscope, a pixel art, exercise equipment for adults, science interpretation, and much more. Your support is providing a valuable gift to the community that will last generations. This project will bring people together no matter their abilities. There's something for everyone. I look forward to racing with any of you on the zip lines. We'll have 3. I thank you for the recognition of this project and the importance of this. You're recognizing the importance of this project for the community. Thanks.
And I don't know if we mentioned, but it's going to be the only handicap accessible playground on the island, which means it's for everybody on the island. So thank you very much for what you're doing. Nantucket Community School. Welcome, baby. Welcome, family. This is a second-year grant for this community schools so that they can continue what they started last year. So Pauline Crowley and Tracy Roberts.
We're all coming. Nantucket Community School is so very grateful to the Cottage Hospital and the Community Foundation for not only giving us funding to continue this program, but also recognizing the value of home visiting for families. Becoming a parent or moving to the island can be a big unknown. Many parents have unlimited knowledge of what to expect for the weeks and months ahead. Neither comes with a manual, unfortunately. Along with the joys, both experiences can both bring struggles. We hope that Welcome Baby, Welcome Family home visits will ease that transition and give families the opportunity to reach out for support. With last year's initial round of funding, the community school was able to purchase the Incredible Years curriculum as a guideline for visits. This year, we're grateful to continued support so home visitors can be trained to begin the journey of completing, hopefully, 100 visits a year. We also want to give a big thank you to the Harvey Foundation, and Dan's Pharmacy, who contribute gifts that go into a gift bag we take for the visits, as well as a combination of resources from island organizations. We now have 6 trained home visitors. Susan's one of them, Michelle's one of them, Tracy's one too, I am too, and this is Toby. So we did some role play. Some of you know Toby. If you know my daughter, you usually know Toby. But he helped us do some role playing, see what it's like going into homes and how we can interact with families when we go there. So he's really important. Get to know Toby. We've begun to spread the word. We're going to do it more. We want to increase awareness and hope that this program will become an island staple. When you meet a new family, we want to be that question. We want that to be that question that you say to people. Have you had a welcome baby visit? You're new to the island. Have you had a welcome family visit? Something that is offered to everybody. Everyone's included. Fingers crossed the program gains momentum, and in turn, there will be more home visits, more connections and support for island families. And we thank you for that.
Thank you, ladies and baby. So, Sustainable Nantucket. They received a grant last year as well, and this year they're going to expand their farm-to-school nutrition program, and they're going to start a new one, and it's Proyecto del Jardín, and I probably said that incorrectly, but it'll be a program that's working in the garden with Spanish-speaking students and English-speaking students with 5th graders. So I'd like to welcome Amy Zielinski and Caitlin Duke and Beth Davies.
Good morning. I was hoping Callan could be here to give this speech as our farm to school manager, but she had a family emergency, so I'm going to take over. Thank you so much. I'm Amy Zielinski, the Executive Director of Sustainable Nantucket. With nationwide childhood obesity being at an average of 18% and rising, the importance of nutrition education for children cannot be overstated. I'd like to take a minute to thank the Nantucket Cottage Hospital for creating the Community Health Initiative and for supporting Healthy Nantucket 2020. And would also like to thank the Nantucket Community Foundation for their generous grant supporting Sustainable Nantucket's farm-to-school efforts to teach nutrition to young children. This is the second year that Sustainable Nantucket's farm-to-school program has received funding from the Nantucket Community Foundation. Last year, we focused on the USDA-recognized food groups for first graders. This year, in addition to the first grade food group lessons, we're introducing the body systems to Nantucket Elementary School second graders. We'll be looking at how the food we eat affects the different body systems. Another change we made this year is focusing the lessons in the fall and the spring so that we can maximize what we have in our farm-to-school garden. This fall, students sampled watermelons, cantaloupes, fresh off the vine as we discussed the food groups, the fruit group, and they munched on celery, radishes, and kale as we discussed vegetables. What a better way to emphasize healthy, local, tasty food than fresh off the plant. We also introduced Progetto del Jardin, which will continue an informal program we started last year with the Nantucket Intermediate School's 5th graders, English language learners. This spring, we'll be working with ELL students by taking those language skills taught in the classroom and bringing them into the less structured garden. We're so excited to be a part of this grant for the second year. Thank you again to Nantucket Cottage Hospital donors and the Community Foundation for supporting healthy habits for our island's smallest sprouts. Thank you so much.
Housing Nantucket. This is a first-time grant for Housing Nantucket, and this will support an online educational program for first-time buyers in both English and Spanish. And receiving is Ann Cuspa and Rosemarie Samuels.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ann Cuspa. I'm the Director of Housing Nantucket. I am very pleased to be in this room today and so honored to be part of this group of people who are just giving so much to our community, and I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. Thank you to the Cottage Hospital, to the Community Foundation, and all the individuals who have given their own efforts and energy to evaluate these grants and then subsequently award Housing Nantucket this grant. So I'm very happy about that. As was mentioned by Kathy, we applied for and were awarded our grant to expand our first-time homebuyer education class. Currently, Housing Nantucket, we offer the class twice a year. It's a 9-hour course, and students attend, they hear guest speakers, and all about buying a home on Nantucket, which can be nerve-wracking, to say the least, never mind if you are on Nantucket. So with this grant, we'll be expanding to an online version. We'll also be able to offer this to Spanish-speaking community as well. So we're really pleased about that and being able to include that aspect of our community. So grateful for this grant, and thank you very much.
Okay, Nantucket Department of Human Services. This is a first-year recipient for the Healthy Nantucket 2020. And this grant will support the development and the maintenance of a central resource directory, which will become a hub of information of services available to all of us on the island. So Rachel Day, would you come and accept your check?
Hi. I'll just say that this was a project that has been in the back of my mind for a while once I assumed the position of the Human Services Director. I've been in a lot of different meetings with a lot of different groups and a lot of different people with a lot of special interests. And something like this has always kind of come up as something that needs to be brought back into the community. The momentum was never really there for me. So once the timing seemed a little bit better, I did begin looking into engaging with someone to help build this site that could provide our community with access to a comprehensive and interactive list of available resources and enable them to make better informed decisions regarding their care and what their needs are. The ultimate goal of this is to provide a tool so that individuals can find care, resources, and education that they need that's available in their community with ease. I'm sure many of you hear about or know that the challenges and frustrations that can come from trying to figure out what is actually available in the community, as well as trying to just navigate a system that can be confusing just in and of itself. With that said, many of you in the audience today will hopefully take part in this development process of this. There will be hopefully some focus groups and discussions because overall the navigation of this site will hopefully be the benefit for most of you as well in this group. So we want to make sure, I certainly want to make sure that your input is provided so that what's really needed, what you're seeing is needed, what people are telling you that they're having challenges with, this site can help them do that with a little bit more ease and a little bit less stress and frustration on them, as well as you, so that you're aware of what everybody else in this room is doing. So with that said as well, I also want to thank the support of the Cottage Hospital, the foundation, all the generous donors, all of you in the room as well, for giving me the support and opportunity to hopefully make this happen and make this a really good tool for everybody in this room to use. I can say that I've been a part of this process on both sides. And it is truly amazing the amount of work that goes into this, that gets vetted to do all these grants, as well as how much is funded. It's just truly amazing, and I'm very happy to be a part of this on both ends, as well as in this wonderful community. So thank you so much.
Now, the Nantucket Fire Department. This is another first-year grant. This will allow the fire department to take their EMTs to a different level, to become paramedics, so that at the end of the day, we all benefit from having better trained people on the first responding ambulances. And so, Stephen, if you will, come up and accept your award.
Thank you very much. Just to start, before I get going, this is a project that started probably 20 years ago, to be honest, and we're finally to a point that's really exciting. Thank you to the hospital. Thank you to the foundation. Thank you to all the donors that make this possible. This is a really important step for my department. The volunteer committees that are part of this vetting process, that debate and review and volunteer their time to go through all these applications. As Rachel said, being on both sides of this, it's really impressive, the organization, the hospital, and the foundation put together in order to have this process come through. Thank you to the people who helped me put this grant together, who reviewed it to make sure it was a successful one. That's rather important to me as well. And what I want to explain to you is what we're doing is we're funding the hospital, and the foundation and this program has funded the first paramedic program on this island, which is a huge milestone. There's 7 people in a class right now that will be done in 7 months, that runs 3 days a week, that will finish their didactic and then have to go on to do another 700 hours almost in clinical rotations and in field internships before they can become a paramedic. So this is no small task. The expected date, sometime over the end of the summer or next fall, they'll be taking their national registry test and become certified paramedics. That means in the fall of 19, we could have our first paramedics functioning on this island, and that's a huge step. So I just want to thank again the town administration, our medical director, Dr. Lepre, and his support, the hospital staff, my staff, everybody that's involved in this, because this is a rather large thing. So again, thank you very much for supporting my department and my EMTs in improving this care that we can provide to everyone. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Habitat for Humanity is receiving a second grant this year, and this will let them continue to develop the 4 lots that they have and put 6 houses on it. So Jerry Keneally, president of the Habitat for Humanity Board.
There we go. Well, as president of Habitat for Humanity Nantucket, I would like to thank the Nantucket Cottage Hospital and all those involved in the Community Health Initiative for awarding this grant for the second time. Through your continued support, you are helping us achieve our goal of making home ownership a reality. Your help allows us to repeat what we have done this year and to change the lives of 2 year-round, hardworking families and get them on the property ladder. These families have been living in that very difficult, hard-to-save income bracket of 48 to 76,000 for a family of 4. In housing speak, that's in the 50 to 80% of AMI, average median income. We give them a 0% down, interest-free 30-year mortgage, so we act like a bank. And these families, by becoming homeowners, has been life-changing both for themselves and for the community. Your generosity will help us move our 11th family into their new home from the last grant this March. And from this current grant, our 12th family will be in their home by fall. Thank you again for making this dream become a reality for these families and these very lucky island families. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Nantucket Affordable Housing Trust Fund receives the second grant this year, and it will continue to support their closing cost assistance program for families and buyers who are up to 150% AMI, and receiving is Linda Williams. Okay.
Good morning. It's a little too early in the morning for me. My voice hasn't quite caught up with the rest of me yet. On behalf of the Affordable Housing Trust members and all those that helped by last year's grant, I would like to thank the Nantucket Cottage Hospital and the Community Foundation for the new grant to fund and to continue to fund the closing costs for those who qualify at the 150% of AMI for a covenant unit. As we all are aware, the lack of affordable housing is a critical issue here and seems to be on the front page of the paper almost every week. It affects the quality of life. Imagine not knowing where you're going to move next. In 12 years here, I moved 12 times when I first got here. The Nantucket Shuffle causes all kinds of chaos and family stability. We've also been assisted by the CPC and the town. So between the three entities that have funded the Housing Trust, we're going to continue to assist families of all types and all income levels up to 150% to own a piece of the rock. We helped 10 families become homeowners with the CHIP grant last year, and we hope to help another 6 more this year. It doesn't solve the problem, but every little bit helps, and thank you again. They said to keep it short and sweet.
Okay, so that's our 14 grants for the day. But I just want to recognize that there's been so much work in this community, and I think you can probably see it, feel it. And I would just encourage you, if you have a minute, to stay around to meet some of these great people who are doing this wonderful work for our community. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And I just want to quote a good friend, Brenda Johnson, on this, and I think you'll agree with Brenda. It's her language, that these grants are making a difference on the island. It's not just a donation that we're making to an organization, but it is truly making a difference in our lives and the lives of others who are not here. And it's amazing. I mean, it gives you chill bumps to see what's happening among the organizations and how we're all working together. And it's been my pleasure to get to know so many of you through these interviews and everything that we've been doing. And I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. But before I leave and turn it over to Margot, I just want to acknowledge the relationship we've had and the partnership with the Community Foundation, because they have been, really at our back with this. And I can't go without recognizing Jean Miller, because Jean has been the glue that has kept us together. She knows where we are at all times. She knows who's doing what, and she will remind you that you are late with something or something is due. So, Jean, please. It's truly been a great experience working with everybody, and I'll turn this over to Margot now to close this up. So thank you all.
It's just a thank you and to recognize what can happen when we come together. It's greater than the sum of the parts, and I think that's been very evident today. and it's a privilege to be part of that. At the end of today's ceremony, please, we'd like all the recipients to come up on the stage for a photo. And once again, thank you. And remember, this is the second of 5 cycles, so get ready to do it all again.